Hi, welcome to today's Piece of Peace. I started off this morning just thanking God because last night we had another curfew and lockdown because of all that's going on in Minneapolis with rioting and people dying and our world upheaved. I last night took a lead from God. And in the midst of what's going on in our world, we have a couple choices. We can move in idolatry, and we can look to other things to find comfort, watching television, watching shows, eating too much food. And when you're kind of locked in your house, it's difficult to even be able to go out for an evening walk because then you're supposed to be inside when there's rioting going on in your area. Not that should become the norm. How weird that is something that we're dealing with in the United States today. I pray for peace. I consistently pray for peace. But as the Lord drew my attention to just worship Him, and asked me to invite others that may be online to just focus on His goodness and His capabilities and what He's capable of doing and only He's capable of doing. So I got on last night, started a Facebook Live and just worshipped with Brandon Lake's song, Graves into Gardens. And he says so much in that. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways, and you're the only one who can. And as he turns shame into glory, He turns mourning into dancing. He gives us beauty for ashes, and He's the only one who can. So as I focused my attention on Him, all of what we were having to do with being locked down dissipated. And I had a sense of security, a sense of peace, and trusting our King. If we roam in fear, it's idolatry because we're not trusting our God, and He's very trustworthy. So I was thanking Him this morning. Jesus, thank You for yesterday. Me helping a friend get to the hospital where her mom is, and loved our time in the car, and thanking Him for blessing me with some coverage for my stolen guitar, and thanking Him for encouraging me through Esther to post on Facebook Live and focus on Him in worship last night. And I said it was a treasure to have right order. You first. You always first, God. Thank You for encouraging me. My sweet husband has been starting to work out with me, and it's been delightful, but I've had to rearrange my morning just a little bit. And today, because I was up late on a call to Australia with my son last night, today I didn't meet him to work out with him. I worked out later, but bless his heart, he did it all by himself. And I was so proud of him because it's easier when you have someone to work out with and not so easy when you have to trudge through all of that. Because let's be honest, is it fun to work out? Those of you who think so, questioning things. It's fun how you feel after you work out, but I don't necessarily enjoy doing the workout. It's hard. And it makes my heart pound really heavy, and I'm sweaty and I'm breathing hard. But that's just me, I guess. I love going for walks, and I guess that's exercise. I love to, run, but I don't enjoy working out. But that's okay. I do it because I enjoy how I feel after I work out. But I'm so proud of my husband for consistently doing that. And met up with a friend yesterday and went for a walk, and I was just thanking God for her. Life is just busting out of her like crazy. Joy, freedom, and I'm watching her be filled with joy and seeing her life growing and healing and in so many ways, and I was just thanking Him for that. It was such a treasure to be with her yesterday. Thanking Jesus that I'm being filled with His love, and that there is no place where his mercy and grace cannot find me or cover me. Thank him for my late night talk with my son in Australia, who is on fire for God, and I'm so blessed by him. And the Lord is calling me to something that he's been sort of talking to me about quite a few years ago at a conference that I was at, that the Lord was speaking to me what he was calling me to. And then my son sort of spoke that over me last night, not knowing what the Lord had been talking to me about years ago, but just reaffirming as if this is the time that that's going to take place, and just giving the Lord my yes. Of course, God, I will start moving in whatever you want me to do. And that's what brought me into my devotion today. So we're going to be reading again out of Our Daily Bread. You can download their app. They have an app on a smartphone for Android or for iPhone, and you can order these booklets online either way. They have Glenn Packiam, who is the author of this particular day, titling it, Live Like It's Morning. Kind of grabbed my attention this morning because I love mornings. They're my favorite time of day. I have always loved mornings. I have my most energy in the morning. I drive my wake up slowly family crazy because I can get up and start talking 100 miles an hour, moving at Mach speed. And then by 4 in the afternoon or by 8 in the evening, I'm like dragging so bad. But then I can get a second wind sometimes. Being a mom who had 2 boys, and then a decade later, 2 more boys. I had teenagers while I had toddlers, and toddlers would get up early in the morning, and teenagers would be up late at night to talk to you. So I kind of burned it at both ends, but the Lord always gave me what I needed. But in this season of life, I love mornings, and I'm toast by the evening time. So the best time to get me at my best is morning. So that's why I love being with the Lord in the morning. But live like it's morning. That spoke a lot to me. And so it brought us into Ephesians 5, which happens to be my favorite book of the Bible. So you can tell by how highlighted, underlined, and wrinkled the papers are because of how much time I spend there. However, so I am going to start verse 1 in chapter 5, and we're going to go through 9. And I'm reading out of the NIV. Be imitators of God, therefore, as dearly loved children, and live a life of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. And it goes on in 3. But among you, there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or of any kind of impurity, or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For of this you can be sure. No immoral, impure, or greedy person, such a man is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of such things God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. Therefore, do not be partners with them. Verse 8, for you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light. For the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. The devotion reads this, and it quotes again chapter 5, verse 9. The fruit of the light consists of all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And Glenn writes, when I have to travel across time zones by air, I try various remedies to avoid jet lag, and I think I've tried them all. On one occasion, I decided to adjust my in-flight eating to the time zone where I was heading. Instead of eating dinner with the rest of the passengers, I kept watching a movie and tried to fall asleep. The hours of elective fasting were difficult, and the breakfast that came right before we landed left much to be desired. but living out of sorts with those around me worked. I jolted my body clock into a new time zone. Paul knew that if believers in Jesus were to truly reflect him in their lives, they would need to live out of step with the world around them. They were once darkness, but now they were to live as children of light. And what might that look like? Paul goes on to fill out the picture. The fruit of the light consists of all goodness, righteousness, and truth. Sleeping through dinner may have seemed foolish to the people on my flight, but even as it's midnight in the world, as believers, we are called to live like it's morning. This may provoke scorn and opposition, but in Jesus we can walk in a way of love, following the example of the one who loves us and gave up himself for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. His charge was this: where have your actions and choices lined up too closely with the world around you? Where have your actions and choices lined up too closely with the world around you? What would the fruit of goodness, righteousness, and truth look like in your life? I think it was a couple nights ago when I found out that I sat down to just click on a TV and check out during our curfew time. That was really much following what my life would look really close to the world around me. And what would the fruit of goodness, righteousness, and truth look like in your life? It was the following night when I chose to focus on my King. I don't want idolatry. I don't want fear. That's idolatry too. I want to trust my King. I want to stay in his presence. I want to be where he is. I want to go to him for comfort, not anything else. And Glenn's prayer is this: Jesus, wake me up to the new day that has come in you. Fill me with your power to live in a different time zone. Open my eyes to choose goodness, righteousness, and truth. And Glenn writes beauty. But that led me to Jesus Calling, which is Sarah Young's book. You can download her book online, or you could order her book online. And she writes from the perspective of God speaking to us. And this is what today says: heaven is both present and future. As you walk along your life path holding my hand, you are already in touch with the essence of heaven. Nearness to me. You can also find many hints of heaven along your pathway because the earth is radiantly alive with my presence. Shimmering sunshine awakens your heart, gently reminding you of my brilliant light. Birds and flowers, trees and skies evoke praises to my holy name. Keep your eyes and ears fully open as you journey with me. And at the end of your life path is an entrance to heaven. Only I know when you will reach that destination, but I am preparing you for it each step of the way. The absolute certainty of your heavenly home gives you peace and joy to help you along your journey. And know that you will reach your home in my perfect timing. Not one moment too soon or too late. Let the hope of heaven encourage you as you walk along the path of life with me. And that is today's piece of peace. God bless you.